The Forgotten Ottoman Spy Network, Secrets of the Empire's Shadow Agents. Most people think of the Ottoman Empire in terms of grand sultans, epic battles, and magnificent architecture. But beneath the surface of military conquests and palace politics, the Ottomans were masters of something far more subtle: espionage. The Ottoman Spy Network, though rarely discussed in mainstream history, was one of the most sophisticated intelligence systems of its time. It didn't rely solely on soldiers or diplomats. Instead, it drew from an astonishing range of people: merchants, scholars, physicians, servants, prisoners, even entertainers. Anyone with access to valuable information could be recruited, or coerced, into service for the empire's shadow apparatus. Ottoman intelligence operated across continents. From the cafes of Cairo to the courts of Central Europe, the empire maintained a web of informants and double agents. Many of these individuals didn't even know who they were ultimately working for. Messages were passed using coded language, invisible ink, or seemingly innocent religious texts. Some agents memorized their messages entirely to avoid detection. One of the most fascinating aspects of this hidden world was the role of the Jewish physicians in the Ottoman court. Often multilingual and well-traveled, they had access to European courts and were able to collect diplomatic gossip, troop movements, and political tensions, all under the guise of medical consultations. Their loyalty wasn't guaranteed, but their usefulness outweighed the risks. It is known that some physicians acted as double agents, passing information between the Ottomans and European powers, navigating a dangerous path of divided loyalties. Another key player in the Ottoman intelligence scene was the dragoman, or interpreter. Because of the empire's vast diversity, dragomans were vital for diplomatic and commercial negotiations. But many were far more than translators. They operated as undercover observers, collecting sensitive information while maintaining the appearance of neutrality. Some dragomans even passed information directly to the Sultan's advisors in Istanbul. The empire's leadership knew the value of information. Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, for example, received weekly intelligence reports from Hungary, Venice, and Persia. These reports weren't always written documents. Sometimes they arrived as oral briefings by trusted envoys. Secrecy was paramount, even within the palace. Some letters were written in an internal code only known to a few high-ranking scribes. Espionage didn't stop at gathering foreign intelligence. The Ottomans also developed domestic surveillance methods, especially in times of political instability. The Janissaries, once an elite military force, also had informants among their ranks. These men watched over local governors, monitored dissent, and reported anything that might pose a threat to central authority. In this way, the empire tried to maintain internal order while navigating the unpredictable world beyond its borders. One lesser-known but fascinating case involves an Ottoman agent stationed in Vienna in the late 17th century. Disguised as a textile merchant, he lived for years among the locals, sending encoded messages back to Istanbul using letters that appeared to be simple merchant correspondence. His letters, discovered centuries later, revealed troop movements, political developments in the Habsburg court, and even the sentiments of local populations. He wasn't a trained spy, but he was trusted, and he understood the game well enough to stay alive, and effective, for over a decade. Why, then, has this part of history remained in the shadows? Partly because espionage thrives on secrecy, and records were either destroyed or buried deep within archives. Partly because historians have focused more on the grand narratives, wars, treaties, dynasties, and less on the silent figures who made those events possible. And partly because the Ottomans themselves didn't glorify their intelligence operations. There were no medals for spies, no public recognition, no statues. The work was dangerous, invisible, and often morally ambiguous. Yet without these agents, the empire would have been blind. Intelligence allowed the Ottomans to anticipate invasions, to manipulate foreign courts, to suppress rebellions before they erupted. It allowed them to survive, and sometimes even thrive, in a world full of rivals. Today, The story of the Ottoman spy network serves as a powerful reminder that history isn't only made by kings and generals. Sometimes, it's shaped by whispers in dark corridors, a slip of parchment, a glance exchanged in a crowded market. And sometimes, the most important pages in history are the ones that were never meant to be read. If stories like this captivate you, and you want to uncover more hidden truths from the past, don't forget to subscribe. There are many more lost pages of history waiting to be discovered.